Well, after marathon days and nights of debate, Victoria's controversial pandemic bill is set to pass Parliament. Julia Bradley is live from Melbourne for us. Julia, it's expected to wrap up by tonight. What are the final sort of fluctuations here?
Well, Tom, it's going to be a two-part process today. This controversial pandemic bill will sit in the upper house this morning. It will then pass to the lower house around lunchtime, I'm told. And I'm also told that that final vote isn't likely to come before 5 p.m. tonight. So this is really in contrast to what we've seen over the past few days, with debate on this controversial pandemic bill beginning on Tuesday, stretching well into Wednesday, ending up as a marathon 25-hour debate. And that is because MPs had to scrutinise 58 clauses and 83 amendments that all go towards making this pandemic bill even more, I would say, increasing the scrutiny, increasing the oversight of the government. So this is a bill that is designed to replace the current state of emergency powers, which allow the government to enforce rules during this COVID pandemic. Those laws, though, they are due to expire in 2 weeks. So these are laws that will allow the Premier to declare a future pandemic and then enforce rules in the event of that. We have heard mixed reactions to this pandemic bill over recent weeks. The opposition have come out saying that if they win government at next year's state election in November, they'll scrap the bill. The Victoria Ombudsman, though, Deborah Glass, has said that she backs the bill now, given that these amendments have been made. Here's what Premier Daniel Andrews had to say this morning.
We have to recognise in everything we do that this is not over. There are still things that have to be done, rules that need to be in place. None of them will be on for a moment longer than they need to be. We've worked very hard back and forth, line by line. Let's hope we get a good outcome.
Protesters have been gathering outside Victoria's Parliament for several weeks already in opposition to this pandemic bill, so we'll have to wait and see what the passing of this bill does. It could potentially increase the tensions outside of Parliament, Tom.
Meanwhile, a former Labor MP has slammed the Victorian Labor government for a toxic culture.
We've heard from controversial former Labor MP Adem Somyurek, who has spoken on Breakfast Radio this morning. He slammed the Victorian Labor government for what he calls a toxic culture. He's also called Premier Daniel Andrews dangerous. Now, this is a man who resigned last year, and that is after allegations of branch stacking. He resigned in disgrace. And we know as well that his intervention last week as an independent is what caused this pandemic bill to stall. Here's what he had to say.
I'm not a Labor Party politician in exile, Neil. I want people to understand that. The Labor Party side seems to have more difficulty in coming to terms with that than I have. But I'm here to hold the government to account for the next year, yeah, and I'm going to use my vast experience.
Adem Somyurek has also said that there aren't enough checks and balances when it comes to internal decisions made by the Premier, but the Premier there very much dismissive of those comments this morning. Tom?
Julia Bradley, thank you.